Miniart 1/35th German troop carrier, part 4. Let's build and paint the cargo bed. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, it's good to have you with us. Right, moving on to the rear half of this vehicle. Last week we concentrated on the cab, but this week we're going to do the cargo bed. As this kit has done all the way through, it goes together really well. There's some really nice photo etch. So this is me just bending a bit, and I just wanted to show you what I do with photo etch. Lots of people, there's always talk of which glue you should use, whether you should use PVA or super glue. All apart from the headlights on this vehicle, every single bit of photo etch that I've put on has just been with Tamiya extra thin. It just melts the plastic, and the photo etch binds to it. So this is me just folding up the bracket that holds I guess it's some sort of ramp onto the side of the truck, and I'm just bending it in my tweezers, and then you'll see me just glue it on just with Tamiya extra thin. So here you go. Just put it into position where you want it. There are some nice locating pins on this one, because it's a bracket that has got a catch on it. The ramp is meant to be loose, so you don't glue that on. But you just get it into position, and once it's there, just needs a bit more folding. There you go, so that's in position, and then we can just get some Tamiya extra thin, put it underneath, and then press the photo etch into the plastic, and then once that's dry, that will set, and it works really well for smaller bits. Obviously, if you're making a box out of photo etch, then you will need super glue, or if it's something that's a bit heavier, such as the headlamps on this, then super glue's the answer. But for something like this, it's really clean and really easy. Right, let's get on to the cargo bed itself. Because it's got wooden planks on it, I'm just dragging a razor saw along the planks just to give it a bit of wood grain effect, and then this will show up when we come to paint it. Now I've tackled the painting in a different way to any previous models that you may have seen me do, so keep watching, and the effect's really nice. Okay, so all the components have now been primed in VMS black primer, and now we come in with a deck tan by AK third generation. Just giving it a good layer of deck tan, and this will be the base layer of the wood that we'll chip back to give the effect of peeling paint on a wooden surface. I want this truck to be quite worn, as if it's had lots of heavy boots walking over it, and yeah, showing some age. Okay, just to bring out the wood effects, I'm going to use a brown wash. This is a MIG brown wash for German dark yellow, and we're just going to do it over the deck tan, and as I say, just bring out the wood grain effects in the wood, mainly around the edges, mainly the gaps between the planks, and just add a bit of shading and a bit of shadow. Okay, so once that's done and all blended in nicely with odourless thinners, we're going to come in with some VMS chipping medium, and this will just allow us to chip the next surface of paint off. So a nice, reasonably heavy coat, and just cover the whole surface. Okay, so this is where the fun starts. This is what's different to any previous builds that you may have seen me do. For this one, I'm going to be using Tamiya lacquer paint. This one is LP27, which is German grey lacquer paint. Now, the reason I've done this is that previously I've used either AK third gen acrylics or Vallejo acrylics, and because they're made of a almost vinyl paint pigment, when you chip them using hairspray or chipping medium, they tend to peel off in quite large chunks, whereas I think you'll see when I chip this back, it comes off really naturally, just small chips, like normal paint on wood. So I think it gives a much more realistic effect. Obviously there are differences using lacquer paints. The fumes, you ought to wear a respirator. They're not quite as easy to clean out of an airbrush, but I think that is outweighed by the effects. So here we go. This is just a nice smooth coat over the wooden parts of the cargo bed. In fact, I have done the metal parts as well. and then we'll come in and chip it almost immediately. You have to be careful with lacquer paints. The longer you leave them, it does get quite difficult to chip them. I have successfully chipped the paint after a couple of days, but I tend to go straight in. So this will literally be left for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and then I'll come in and chip them. So here you go then, just with a scruffy brush. It's not a particularly hard brush, it's just an old painting brush, just applying a layer of water over the bit that I want to chip, and then just working it through the surface of the paint down to the chipping medium and getting that to react. And you'll see very quickly that the tiny little chips will start to appear, and then you can work to make those bigger over much of the surface as you want. As I said before, I want this to be quite worn, but obviously I've put the supports for the seats in just to give me a guide of where the centre of the truck is and where people are more likely to be walking. So there you go, you can just see chips starting to appear. They're very fine at the moment, but they soon get bigger and bigger, but they all have a nice natural chipped edge to them, and they're much more realistic for making paint that's chipped over a wooden surface. So there you go. I hope you'll agree that that looks much more natural chipping. On the sides, again, I've lined it up with the seats, as if the troops are resting their backs on the wooden surface. And then repeat the process almost on the sides, although obviously we'll be bringing some Dunkelgelb in as well. So this is the chipping fluid going down, and then we'll do the German dark grey and Dunkelgelb as well. Okay, so here's the German dark grey. Again, we're using Tamiya lacquer paint. Just a really good coating. I'm going to go over all the tools and the ramp thing, whatever that is, as well. Just giving it all a good covering. Make sure I do the top edge as well. Okay, so that's the dark grey down. That looks really nice. What I'm going to do now is just spray another layer of chipping medium, just so that we can chip the camo and the grey at the same time. So again, another nice decent coat of chipping medium. Okay, so once that's had a chance to dry, we can move on to the Dunkelgelb. And for this I'm using AK Real Colours Dunkelgelb, which again is a lacquer paint. I've already done the rear and the front, so I'm using them just to line up so that the camo pattern matches around the corners. And then I'm pretty much following the pattern that's on the instructions, but just marking where it meets, and then I can go on and do the side panel. You'll see that this paint goes down much better than the acrylic that I used last week. More about that in a bit. Okay, so now we can chip. Same process as before, just with some water. I'm not envisaging there to be as much wear and tear on the outside, although around the tools and that sort of thing, I can imagine them chipping the paint off as they get put back into their positions. It's really important to not do the metalwork, because we're going to come through and do some brush chipping with those later. I discovered it was a really nice effect to go around the edge of the yellow. So just taking my time, going round, and yeah, chipping through 2 layers of paint where I can, just taking it down to the wood. Look at that. I think they look really good, really natural looking. Proper job. And I was so pleased with it that, yeah, I went back and repainted the cab as well, using the same paint. So that's come up really nicely now. Much more natural looking, and nicely done. So there you go, everyone. That'll probably do for this week. Thanks for watching. I keep repeating myself, but it really means so much to me that you're willing to spend 20 minutes of your time with me. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.